Hi, fourth grade families. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video. We are going to take a look at division in fourth grade. This will be similar to the strategies that we used for multiplication because of that relationship between multiplication and division. Of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to your child's math teacher. But this might help you just to have a strong understanding if your child has any questions as we work through this in the next week or so. We are going to begin by dividing a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number. Just to review some vocabulary that your children will become familiar with, 342 is the dividend. That is the total we are putting into groups. We're dividing by 6, so that's our divisor. And our quotient or answer right now is represented by the variable n. So just so you have an understanding of why we use the area model, in multiplication, we multiply the top and the side, or we think of it with area, the length and the width, and our total is on the inside. Since multiplication is the opposite or inverse operation, we work backwards. We know the total, so I will put 342 on the inside. I am splitting it into 6 groups, so 6 will go on the side, and their answer will come on top. Okay, so now let's get started. We know fact fluency is very important for division, but it's also really challenging for fourth graders. So your children will create a tops and bottoms chart like the one shown here to help them divide. Here is what this means. This means that I list under tops the numbers 1 through 9, and I then write the first 9 multiples of 6, or I think of it as the first 9 products of 6, like I'm skip counting by 6. So I'm going to put 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, and 54. These multiples come from multiplying by 6. So if I take my top number, 1, and I multiply it by 6, I get my bottoms number, which is 6. If I take 2 and I multiply it by 6, I then get 12. And if I continue down the list, these would be the products for each of these numbers times 6. So now that I know all of the multiples of 6 or the facts of 6, I am ready to divide. The first thing I'm going to do is set up the box. I'm going to put the dividend or the total on the inside. Because this is a 3-digit number, it's cut into 3 parts. My hundreds, my tens, and my ones. Since I am dividing by 6, just as you would with the bracket, I'm going to put the 6 on the outside. Now I am all set up and ready to divide. So I'm going to change my pen color. And here you can see that we have 3 hundreds. I'm looking at my list of bottoms to see if any of these numbers have the value of 3 or less. None of them do since we start at 6. So that means on the bottom, I put a 0, and on top, I put a 0. I can make no groups of 300 with 6. So now I'm going to subtract 3 minus 0, and I get 3. Those 300s cannot be just left there. They need to be converted into tens. Now 300s is converted to 30 tens. So I'm going to bring them over here. And now I'm going to say that I have 34 tens. if I look at my list of bottom multiples here, I'm looking for the number that is close to 34 without going over. 36 is the closest, but it goes over, so I'm going to go backwards to 30. 30 goes on the bottom, and the corresponding number with 30 is 5 because 5 times 6 is 30. So on top goes a 5. I'm now going to subtract 34 minus 30, and I am left with 4 tens. I can't break up 4 tens into 6 as their tens. I need to convert them into ones. Well, 4 tens is equal to 40 ones. And if I add that to the 2 ones that are there, I now have 42 ones. Again, I'm going to look on my list for 42 or something that's close. And here we can see that 7 times 6 is 42. So 42 goes on the bottom, and 7 goes on the top. I subtract 42 minus 42, and I get 0, which means there is no remainder for this problem. Since there's no remainder and I'm finished in the ones, this means I have my quotient or my answer, and n equals 57. I do not need to worry about this hundreds value because it's a 0. All right, so now what we're going to do is take a look at how you do this with a 4-digit number. It's super, super similar. All we do is add one more place value. So the fact that we have here is 3,184 divided by 4 equals n. My dividend, which is 3,184, is a 4-digit number. So that's why this is broken into 4 equal parts. I'm dividing it into groups of 4, so 4 goes on the side. Now I'm going to create my tops and bottoms chart for my multiples of 4. So remember, I'm thinking one group of 4, or 1 times 4, is 4. And then I think 2 times 4 is 8. And I continue adding another group of 4 all the way down to the 9th multiple. This is time consuming, and for the kids at times it's a little tedious, but I will tell you it dramatically improves their multiplication fluency. So the more practice, the better. And 36. Now that my tops and bottoms chart is complete and I have set up my equation inside the box, I am ready to divide. All right, so I'm always going to start with division in the greatest place value, and I have 3 thousands. I do not see anything that is at that 3,000 or below, so I cannot break that up evenly yet. So I'm going to put a 0 on the bottom and a 0 on the top and subtract 3 minus 0, and I get 3. The reason we subtract is because division is the same as repeated subtraction. So that's why we use that operation. Now what I'm going to do is take these 3 thousands and break them into 30 hundreds, add it to the one that's there, and I now have 31 hundreds. If I look at this list of multiples, 32 is the closest, but it can't go over. That's not enough. So I have to go to this one, which is 28. 7 times 4 is 28. So on the bottom, I'm going to put 28. And 28 is the 7th multiple. So on top goes a 7. 31 minus 28 is 3. Now I am left with 3 hundreds. These 3 hundreds need to be regrouped into tens. That is 30 tens. So I'm going to add it to the 8 that's there to make 38 tens. If I look at this list, 36 is the closest and it is not over. So I'm going to put 36. And when I subtract 38 minus 36 is 2. I can't leave those 2 tens. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot what's on top. 36 is the 9th multiple of 4. So that means on top, I am going to put 9. Alrighty, so now back to that 2 that was there. Those 2 tens can't be left behind, but need to be regrouped to 21s. So I now have 24 ones. 24 is the 6th multiple of 4, which means that a 6 goes on top, 24 goes on the bottom, and 24 minus 24 is 0. There is no remainder. So n equals 796. I am sure this is a completely new way to divide for you. And again, at any point, if you have questions, please reach out to your child's teacher. But I will tell you our 4th graders do love solving this way because it is pretty interactive for them. So thank you so much for taking the time to learn about division. And I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Bye.